published 0415 the 8th of December 2017, updated 1854 the 8th of December 2017. Rough sleepers and beggars are being rounded up, fined and deported amid a surge in homelessness in UK towns and cities, and a group of people living in tents have been evicted and their property allegedly ruined by bailiffs acting on behalf of Thames Water on the coldest day of the year, as temperatures plummeted below freezing. The men and women living near Kennet and Avon Canal in Newbury, Berkshire, were turfed out of their tents and forced onto the streets. The victims claimed the little possessions they owned were damaged when bailiffs visited yesterday. Pictured homeless Paul Charlesworth, 34, was turfed out of the tent he had been living in after Thames Valley Water drafted in bailiffs to clear the land near their site in Newbury. A spokesman for a homeless charity condemned the eviction as unnecessarily heavy-handed and criticized Thames Valley Water, who earned over £605 million in profit last year, for carrying out the deed during freezing conditions. Paul Charlesworth, 34, became homeless after losing his job and then being badly injured in a road accident. Said he returned to his tent on Wednesday to find an eviction notice had been left behind. He said, "We were doing no harm and got on well with people living nearby who were kind and sympathetic towards us." Others claimed their property was damaged and the tents were ruined so they can no longer sleep in them. Mr. Charlesworth said the group managed to stay together on the first night but have since split up. Now he has nowhere to sleep and has been left without protection from the cold weather as temperatures are set to plummet this evening to below -12. The decision to evict the group on the coldest night of the year so far was criticized by Andrew Sharp from Health West Berkshire. He said, "We are very, very concerned that one of society's most vulnerable groups, who suffer some of life's largest health inequalities, with an average lifespan of 47 years, are being evicted in such a heavy-handed manner." People living in tents in Newbury, Berkshire, have been evicted by Thames Water on the coldest day of the year. Stock image: homelessness on the rise. This map shows the number of people without a fixed address. He said some of them are in a desperate state. "We would be very interested to discuss this with Thames Water, who made £605 million last year." A spokesman for Thames Water said, "We allowed the campers to stay for longer so they had the option of visiting a new homeless shelter. We eventually asked those who hadn't already moved on to leave a couple of days later. Our sites contain important infrastructure to enable us to supply drinking water to millions of homes, so we cannot put the security of those sites at risk by allowing people to camp on them. The issue of homelessness is one we take seriously, and in the last few months we've been supporting Berkshire-based charity Launchpad with their work to raise awareness of the problem. We have also made a donation through our Charities Committee to a homeless project which helps rough sleepers. This comes as the government had pledged to have street homelessness by 2022 and eradicate it by 2027. Such promises have been rubbished by charities who say the problem has risen by 34% under the Conservative government, with 100,000 more families losing their home compared with 2010, and now it has emerged as many as 28 councils are looking at ways to fine homeless people in a bid to discourage antisocial behavior. The government had pledged to have street homelessness by 2022 and eradicate it by 2027, but so far numbers of those living on the streets has risen by 34%. Pressure Group: the Manifesto Club said authorities are using public space protection orders to threaten homeless people sleeping in cars, tents, parks and doorways, with instant fines of £100 rising to £1,000 if left unpaid. Sunderland Council will fine people searching bins for food, while Stoke was forced to retract a policy to punish people sleeping in tents after an outcry from local residents. The Times reports in Rushcliffe, Nottinghamshire, and Shepway, Kent, the homeless can be fined for sleeping in the open, and landlords in Glasgow have used loudspeakers to deter people sheltering in doorways. Josie Appleton of the Manifesto Club told The Times there had been a phenomenal increase in harassment by the authorities over the past 3 years. This comes after Operation Gopik, which targets East European rough sleepers, became national policy last year. But despite the campaign running for 2 years, the Home Office has not said how many people have been removed or deported as a result. The government has established a rough sleeping advisory panel and is to spend £1 billion by 2020 to cut numbers. A council has been blasted for screening off a homeless man from public view by surrounding his pitch with plastic barriers covered in warning signs. Nottingham City Council cordoned off the sleeping man by erecting yellow screens around the doorway where he has been staying. An official even handwritten a note shaming the 27-year-old rough sleeper for refusing council accommodation. Nottingham City Council cordoned off the sleeping man by erecting yellow screens around the doorway where he has been staying. An official even handwritten a note shaming the 27-year-old rough sleeper for refusing council accommodation. The man, who wishes to remain unnamed, said he turned down 3 nights in a bed and breakfast as he feared for his personal safety. The sign, which was later removed by the council, read, "This man has refused to take an offer from Framework of 3 nights in a hotel." The rough sleeper said he rejected the offer of accommodation in Derby because he has faced problems there before. Homeless charities have blasted the move and accused the local authority of dehumanizing the homeless man. The man, who sleeps in Nottingham city centre, said, "It's just making me feel wound up. They've put this sign up and they've said I was begging, but I wasn't. These people said I could sleep at this doorway because it's a closed down shop. I've got reasons why I've refused the hotel because there's problems in Derby." The man, who wishes to remain unnamed, said he turned down 3 nights in a bed and breakfast as he feared for his personal safety. "I'm on bail for begging in Derby. That's the truth why I'm not allowed to be there. And that's it. They're peeing me off and they've annoyed me so much in the last 3 months, and I don't know why they've put this sign here. They've never done anything like that here before." Homeless charity Framework, which supports rough sleepers in Nottinghamshire, Lincolnshire and Derbyshire, claimed the barrier had absolutely nothing to do with the organisation. Dennis Tully, chief executive of Nottingham homeless charity Emmanuel House, said to put up a sign is a very dehumanizing thing to do and it's not where we would want to go. In terms of the barrier, again I think it's a question of whether it actually contributes to someone's human dignity. If the council is attempting to provide greater protection for people who are homeless, it's a good thing, but I'd be interested to know what they rough sleepers say about a barrier being put around them. It's got a warning symbol on it. What is the warning symbol warning people against? It's not something we would want to be associated with. In a statement released by Nottingham City Council, Toby Neal added, "This was the first and only time privacy screens have been used, and having listened to feedback from the public and partners, we are stopping their use until a clear protocol can be established on when they should be used and more appropriate screens found. I am sorry about the placing of a sign, which was not authorized or appropriate, and which we removed as soon as we heard about it. The intention was that the screens would only be used on a very temporary basis in exceptional circumstances, for example if medical intervention is required or when officers are trying to have conversations with individuals about potentially sensitive matters. The aim would be to help maintain the privacy and dignity of the individuals concerned by keeping their intervention with agencies out of earshot of any passing public while they are trying to engage with and support them." The City Council has invested £106,000 to put measures in place that ensure nobody needs sleep on our streets this winter, on top of almost £4 million we spend on homelessness prevention and support throughout the year. Sometimes individuals are resistant to accepting the support that is offered to them, but it is available to everyone and we will do all that we can to get them off the street into one of the many facilities in the city, especially when harsh weather is forecast.